All right, so welcome back. We're going to start stitching now. So this part here is just a single stitch with black thread. I'm using a bonded nylon size 69, which is pretty much what most people use. It's not. When you are doing different color, contrast color stitching, you got to be real careful. Take your time. I always recommend my students their first time sewing, always use same color thread as your material. So if you make mistakes, which if it's your first time, they're expected, you know, some mistakes are expected. You won't notice them as much if you have the same color thread. I know it's tempting. Students come in, they see my wall of threads, they're like, oh, this color looks sick. I'm like, yeah, it does. But I recommend you use the same color thread. Hide some of your initial, your learning mistakes, which I'm like one of the best teachers I know, and my students still make mistakes, so everybody makes mistakes at first. Why show them off? Okay, that's that. Now I'm going to stitch the heel tab. I'm just going to do a little down the sides. I'm not going to do the top part because that's going to be stitched on when we do this stitch here. I'm just going to go straight over it. So right now I'm just going to do the sides. Just one back stitch. I don't want to have a bunch of threads there. I don't want it to look too bulky, so I'm only doing one back stitch, which I'll burn off the edges. It'll be fine. And there it is. We should have some Anuel music in the background. But, oh, I like the sound of the machine because I can tell right away just by the sound if it's, if the timing is off, if it sounds weird, it can fix it right away. So, nice quiet environment is also good when you're focused. Ultra focused. They should make that as flavor, monster flavor, ultra focus. All right, that's it. Heel tabs on, both lateral quarter panels ready. Let's go on to the next step. Okay, so we got these done. Just gonna cut these threads off. I always pull the threads from the top first because then you pull it from the bottom, and if you had a little loose end there, it'll pull it through and you'll see it on the back, just like this. Okay. And there we are. Let's go on to the next step. Cut these off. All right, there we are. Next step is take a drink of your monster. And let's burn off the edges. got this gift. It's a Zippo lighter. It says, "You light my fire." It's from a gift from all the women in the world to me. Blurry. All right, so just very careful not to damage your material. You're welcome, women of the world. All right, just a little extra step there, help some precautionary stuff. All right, so there it is. Next step, heel counter. So the heel counter, this is a medial side. This one goes over here. And I actually just added some, I glued on some scrap leather on the back. I'm afraid that this heel counter, once we heat it up and we start, messing with it, it's gonna be too flexible. So I put this leather on the back to kind of keep it from moving around too much. Now we're gonna put this here. Boom, right there. I don't want to glue this on because the original Off-White has this little flap here because the stitch is way over here. The stitch is going to be way over here, so if we glue this down, you're not going to be able to it's going to come undone and it's going to look kind of messed up. So I'm just going to glue this, but way over here on the edge, if that makes sense. I'll show you if it doesn't. So kind of like this. I have to scratch up this leather way over here. So I'm not going to put any cement on the edge. We're going about a 3/8 of an inch in from the edge. That's where I'll start gluing. Okay. Probably should have backed this piece too. It's not too stretchy. All right. Now, some cement. What the hell? All right. ¿Sí quedaron? No. Sí. Like I said, I'm not going to go all the way to the edge because I want it to be a little bit loose. I have a flap down there. Normally I don't like a loose flap down there, but for the Off-White it's okay. And this one I am going to go all the way to the edge because this edge is going to be right on that side, on the inside of that piece. So this one we can go all the way to the edge. And I hope I didn't just kind of shoot myself with this experiment. It's all right. Like I said, if it doesn't come out good, it's just one stitch. We can remove it and your regular red leather. Yep, this reminds me of my days way back when I used to do a lot of airbrushing. Kind of miss airbrushing sometimes, but I used to do a lot of I was never a super good artist. I mean, I did do some freehand stuff, but I was never like a really good artist, so I used to use a lot of stencils. I was aight. I wasn't like terrible. Damn, that paint's coming off. I guess it would come off with acetone, huh? But you're not going to see any of this. It's all right. All right, there it is. Oh, you got one more? I'm going to lean this over. It's dangerous. there it is. Okay, let's air these out a little. Let the cement dry a little. Time lapse 1 minute. Okay. Now. None of this below this line. We're not gonna see any of that, so don't worry. Don't worry, guys. We're good. Boom. And now this one. Nice. Let's see how this experiment's gonna work. See if Ray knows what the hell he's doing. All right, let's go back to the sewing machine. So, like I said, this stitch doesn't go on the edge here. It goes a little bit in on the off-white model. So we are going to now be careful with the speed bump here. I'm gonna kind of go slow. Oh, we're good. I told you guys what thread I'm using, right? 69. I didn't tell you what needle size. I go between a 14 for like light fabrics and stuff, and up to a 22, I guess. Whoa, why is it stuck? Up to like a 22 if I'm doing like some thick material, maybe some stingray or something. But this one is a 16. I don't know what. I think some of the glues on underneath is getting stuck. Yep. So I'm having to manually push it. Okay. See what was happening here. I wasn't grabbing it all there, so that's why I was getting stuck on the edge here. I'm going to go over this a little bit. I'm just going to do double stitch underneath and it'll catch that, so we'll be all right. For the double stitch, I'm going to do this side, just so I can kind of see where I'm going. Steady, steady. And actually I have a double needle machine in the back, but I didn't want to get it out. I'm too lazy. Since the back storage room, I think we're okay with this. It's getting stuck. No. All right, so you can see the second stitch got that, so we're okay. Just kind of fell off there a little bit, went off-roading, but that's what we wanted there. It's good. Brrr. All right, next one. This one has plenty of room. I wonder why that one fell off. That was smaller. I gotta talk to my pattern maker. It's too busy over there, but I don't know why that one was smaller. It's kind of a, like I said, a modified pattern, so that's all right. We'll give them a break on this one. You really don't even have to backstitch here because all this is going to be lasted underneath and cut. So Just a habit. Normally when I do double stitching, I'll do one stitch on the left side of the mark and one on the right side, but I forgot. So that's why I'm doing it. One right on the registration mark and one underneath. Normally I'll just do half and half, like have the mark right in the middle. This one I can barely see the freaking mark, but I have eagle vision. Okay, actually I'm just gonna go backwards here. Right there. Yep, we're good. We caught it. Just force a habit to backstitch, but you don't have to. I slowed these machines down for all my students, so this is actually, I'll show you, this is actually the fastest it'll go. That's the fastest, so. If you guys are worried about taking my class, I don't know how to sew. Don't worry, we got you. We slow everything down for you. I like to think of myself as a ratatouille of shoemaking. I believe anybody can cook some shoes. All right, so there it is. Let's go to the next step. Actually, let's pause there. Let's pause there and see you guys in the next video.